Alright, today in class we learned about solving quadratic equations by factoring. So we're going to go ahead and solve a few. I'm going to do a few of the homework problems for you so that you can get an idea of how to do this. This is number 9 off your homework. This is a quadratic equation. How can you tell it's a quadratic equation? Because that's a squared term. So the first thing you do is see if you can make this a perfect square, but you can't because you have this other b term right here. So then the next thing you try is you see if you can factor this. Well, go back to our old factoring days. I need two numbers that multiply to -4 that add to +3. What are the two numbers that multiply to -4 that add to +3? Those two numbers are +4 minus 1 equals 0. We have this factored. We don't have this solved yet because we don't know what b is, so we use the zero product property, and the zero product property says if I have two things that are multiplied together, the answer is 0, I set each one equal to 0. That means b plus 4 equals 0, or b minus 1 equals 0. Solve each one. b equals -4, add 1, b equals +1. Those are your two solutions. Those are the two answers that work in the problem. You can go back and check them if you want to, but they work. I'm going to skip and I'm going to do 10. So we'll go through and do the evens for you now. m squared minus 5m minus 14 equals 0. Same thing, is this a perfect square? No, so I can't just do a square root, so I'm going to have to try and factor m minus 7, m plus 2 equals 0. Because -7 times +2 is -14, -7 plus 2 is -5. Zero product property, m minus 7 equals 0, m plus 2 equals 0, add 7 to both sides, m equals 7, subtract 2 from both sides, m equals -2. I'm going to skip to 12. 12 says x squared minus 16x plus 55 equals 0. Again, this looks like one that we're going to have to factor. So if you're going to factor this, find two numbers that multiply to 55 that add to -16. This is kind of cool because it's going to be x minus 11, x minus 5 equals 0. Zero product property, x minus 11 equals 0, so x equals 11, or x minus 5 equals 0 and x equals 5. And those are my two solutions, 11 and 5. Skip to 14. n squared plus n minus 12 equals 0. Try and factor, find two numbers that multiply to -12 that add to +1, that's n plus 4 and n minus 3 equals 0. Zero product property, n plus 4 equals 0, which means n equals -4, or n minus 3 equals 0, which means n equals 3. 16. 16, we have something weird going on. t squared minus 3t equals 28. Okay, I gotta get everything on the same side, so I'm gonna have to subtract 28 from both sides. t squared minus 3t minus 28 equals 0. Factor, find two numbers that multiply to -28 that add to -3. That's t minus 7 and t plus 4 equals 0. Zero product property, t minus 7 equals 0, so t equals 7. t plus 4 equals 0, so t equals -4. 18. It says 2c squared minus 7c equals -5. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. 2c squared minus 7c plus 5 equals 0. Okay, in this one I'm going to have to find numbers that are going to work. 2c times c is 2c squared. I need to get these last two numbers have to multiply to +5 and add to -7. So I know they're both going to be negative. I'm going to put a -5 there and a -1 here, and that'll make it work. Zero product property says c minus 1 equals 0, so c equals 1, or 2c minus 5 equals 0, add 5 to both sides, 2c equals 5, divide by 2 on both sides, c equals 5/2. And 20, the last one I show, 4y squared equals 25. This I have a square here, so I can divide by 4. Y squared equals 25 over 4, square root on both sides, y equals plus or minus 5 over 2. And those are the evens. I do want you to try the odds on your own, and that'll be that. We'll work on this tomorrow.